Now, one of the things that the legislative leadership has stated to try to appease people with regard to these taxes is that so many small businesses will be protected from this. Now, you've already stated, Kathy, that there are tax increases that are going to impact every business regardless of size. But we've talked a little bit about the agricultural community, and Marion County being the #1 largest producer of agriculturally related commodities and products feeds into this economy in a great way. So it's a little short-sighted in thinking, is it not, that if you tax somebody over here, that these people over here aren't going to feel it at all, because we were visiting grass seed farmers who have 2008 crop still stored tremendously in their warehouses, and it's money that they're not spending. And we talked to our small businesses on the street who rely on the agricultural farmers and businesses to come and purchase goods and services, who are not doing it because of their inability to have the funds. Are they not impacted from your perspective?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's tough economic times already, Mike, and to have no margin or very little margin right now, it's hurting everybody across the board, and this is really going to hurt the ag side as well. It really is. I mean, Brett and I talked earlier, and the product's still sitting in there. They can't sell it. The price is outrageous right now.
And we've also heard that there's a quick reaction to somebody like Brent to tell him he's in the minority of small businesses that are structured in the way he has structured himself, and that those in the ag community, there are not that many that are C Corps. You're a CPA with many clients.
And it's not just the C Corps that are going to be affected. I mean, if you had an ag business as an S Corp or an LLC or a partnership, the individual who owns that business is going to be paying higher taxes, higher taxes now as well. So they're going to pass that higher tax back down to their customer as well. It makes no difference. When it's business in Oregon, it's business and individuals as well. There's a lot of S Corps, partnerships, and LLCs out in Oregon right now.
And sometimes people who have the ability they hire people to do work, and that's a job creation thing. There aren't a lot of jobs that are created by people who are poor. So you raise their taxes and take that money out of their hands, those jobs are going to go somewhere else. And the two things are going to happen, and we talk about the job loss and the chart, is businesses are going to go down, or they're going to close, they're going to fold up shop, or they're not even going to open. So there's jobs losses right there. And some businesses are going to pick up and move that have the ability to do so. Right. Actually, I'll add a third thing to that. Some people of higher income that are trying to recruit to the state, like doctors, they won't come, because they can go to another state and not pay any income tax. And if you anticipate having a specialty, then you're going to make several $100,000s a year. Oregon wants that tax income, but why would they come here? And they're going to go to Washington and have a great quality of life and not pay the income tax. That's a huge amount of money, and it dissuades people from investing in the state, which it hurts us, and this is what we look at.
And when all residents are needing that sort of medical service or groceries, where those costs are passed on, it affects us all. And I think, again, it's incumbent upon people to see through what some are saying, that it's very targeted and it doesn't affect you. And I think beyond that, let's talk a little bit about the $10, because that's going to be something that is out there, and it's going to be probably the poster child of those that want to see these taxes go through. Brent?
Oh, well, the $10 is an easy argument to throw out, because there's nobody in the state that doesn't think it should be changed.
Sure.
It was on the table at the last legislative session to raise it. Representative Vicki Berger introduced a bill that would have caught it up with inflation, would have raised it by 30 times its current level, and it was summarily dismissed. Instead, the legislature passed something that you could potentially pay 10,000 times the minimum. So we have a minimum that's silly. It should have been changed last year in a rational manner, similar to the way the S Corps and LLCs are. It was not. Instead, they overreached, and they're trying to cast an umbrella or a net over some fictitious pile of money, and they're capturing your local gasoline dealer and your local grocer and your local small farmer instead. Right. So they cast this huge net, and frankly, it's just terrible public policy. So they can go in February. They should change the $10 minimum. Absolutely. Raise it 30 times. You know, catch it up with inflation. If you raise it 30 times and it's $300, that's 50% higher than the national average. National average for a flat rate is $200. So we could have $300. It's 50% more, and it would never have been referred, and that's really unfortunate.
Well, speaking of February, there are a lot of people at the local level that get really concerned about the proponents and those in the legislature that say you're going to just see services just devastated if these taxes don't go through. So that stirring up of the fear and the concern of the people does require leadership that would have a different alternative than just saying no to these taxes. I mean, there are a lot of people that are going, well, what are we going to do? So how would you react to the fear that's being stirred up? And then what do you think are the next steps for us in terms of providing direction on this issue of taxation?
Go ahead.
Okay, well, I would say that the legislature has many of the same options it had last year that it didn't take. When it overreached and raised it permanent taxes, they didn't have to do that. If they were temporary taxes, it would probably not have been referred. If it sunsetted and it asked the business community and the more wealthy in this state to help us get us through this recession, and we're going to sunset in 4 years, it was on the table. I don't think it would have been referred and wouldn't have been here. They have other options. There's reserves that have not been tapped. It's raining, folks. You know, it's a rainy. There really shouldn't be a lot of money in any rainy day fund. They have possibilities for a rational minimum corporate tax. They have possibilities for temporary taxes. So the argument that it's doom and gloom and that all services are going to be devastated and the social service agencies will disappear and the teachers will all be thrown out in the street, that kind of fear, public policy by fear, I think is unwarranted because other options are available. We don't want to see the state decimated in services, but this is bad public policy. And it's bad timing. You can't take away jobs, do things that cost jobs when we need those jobs to fund all of those services. They need to go back and get a coalition because, sorry, but this is it was a one-party solution. And they need to go back and get a coalition of people that can support it. And the business alliance, the business community of the entire state was willing to support helping provide for these services and get us through the recession. And those solutions are going to have to hit the table in February, and we'll start again.